I'm now joined with Christine Brennan, a sports journalist and author. Christine, we're at the 2010 SEME conference. How special is it to be around all these sports executives today and have a day like this?
You know, Jake, I really enjoy coming here. Matt Winkler's a dear friend, and I've done this for many years in different venues. He moves it around. Now we're of course at Nationals Park, and I expect we'll fully expect we'll be at the White House in a couple of years. The way Matt gets his way into the Washington fabric and culture. But seriously, I think it's a great event. I get energy from the students and from the young people who are here. I learn from them. I mean, I love to be on the panels and talk to everybody, but there's such a vibrancy and energy here, and I think there's a lot of answers too. You know, a lot of the young folks here have the answer for monetizing the internet. They have the answer. These are the people that are going to be making a lot of the decisions as our world continues to evolve and change with the communications world and sports and marketing. So it's fascinating.
I saw all of the speakers on your panel, and you talked a lot about social media, and it's really becoming one of these things that's sort of taking over sports and entertainment, and it's always in the media and news. How has social media changed sports?
Oh, it's incredible, the change, and it's changing it in leaps and bounds. Certainly athletes having their own websites, athletes tweeting, athletes on Facebook. That's one part of it, as we know, where they're getting the word out. They don't need the middleman. You know, I guess you could say that I and the traditional media, we're kind of the middleman, and all of a sudden now, you know, they don't use us. So Tiger Woods puts stuff on his website, or Shaq tweets, or Dara Torres tweets. And I'll tell you, going into the Olympic Games in Vancouver, I was following a lot of athletes on Twitter, not so much because I cared about what movie they saw on the plane or whether they were brushing their teeth, but about injuries, what they think of their opponents, any of the back and forth, you know, as we worked our way towards the Olympic Games. So I can learn a lot from that as well. And then for me, I mean, I come from the dinosaur, you know, from the print side, and I have a Twitter account. I love tweeting. I use it as I kind of call it little journalism. I've got a Facebook account. I use that. Of course, I blog. We did a Vancouver Today from the Olympics for USA Today. So we had a newspaper doing television. So I am all about this and embracing it as much as I can.
Yeah, now you mentioned Tiger Woods, especially with Twitter, but obviously you've been one of the big people on Tiger Woods, and it's become this whole completely crazy thing in the media. Does Tiger Woods, is he responsible? Does he have an obligation to apologize to the public because he's a public figure? Or does he have, do you think that he has some element of privacy, just that people should leave him alone a little bit?
You know, he could have done it any way he wanted to. I mean, obviously the news happened the day after Thanksgiving. Things started to unravel for him. The tabloid side of this story is something I've not covered. I've written 5 columns on this in the last 5 months. I've certainly written more columns on figure skating than I have on Tiger Woods. So it's a huge story, don't get me wrong. But I think, a lot of us are reporting on it or writing or giving our opinion. And there's a lot we don't know yet. And I think Tiger clearly thought he had to apologize because he had his February 19th speech where he did that. My questions and my take on it has been much more about what do we believe and what don't we believe, and change. You know, if there's change, if he's a changed man, and again, he has a right to do whatever the heck he wants. He sure doesn't have to listen to me. I don't expect he ever would. But in terms of, he has the same caddy, the same agent. He's got that same kind of control freak. 5 minutes, you get a chance to talk to me for 5 minutes. 2 people get to talk to me. 5 minutes, done. On February 19th, when he had his speech, Jake, he stick it to Accenture. The Accenture tournament's going on at the exact same time. Ernie Els said this. I didn't have to say it. He said that was selfish. You can print that. Right. I'm at the Olympics, but here, he kind of crash lands into the Olympics, crash lands into the Accenture tournament. I think the question is, has Tiger really changed? Now, some might say, hey, that's up to his wife and his family, and I hope for his kids and his wife and for Tiger that things work out for them. But that's the side I don't know about. What I know about is the fall from grace of a cultural icon, something like the likes of which we've never seen before. And from that standpoint, that's how I feel I've been covering it.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's definitely really amazing how it just keeps progressing. It's a continuing soap opera, really. I want to switch gears. I was curious to get, we're at the SEME conference, and it's a place where all these sports executives come, and I wanted to get the women's perspective about as a woman, you know, this industry is so dominated by men, at least historically. I know women are continuing to get into it. And what's maybe some advice you'd give to women out there who are looking to get into the industry? Maybe even people in the sports management program here at Georgetown.
Sure.
I mean, it could be maybe intimidating for people just because it's so many men. What do you do to get noticed? You know, all of these issues.
Sure. Well, I think women have a great opportunity still in sports, and as we're encouraging every daughter as well as our sons to play sports at a young age, Title IX is working its magic. Girls know more about sports than ever before. They're playing sports as ever before. It makes perfect sense that when they grow up, when they go to college and grow up, that they would want to be in the sports world. That is a natural thing, whether they want to coach or be in sports management or the media, communications, whatever it might be. I think it's a fascinating world. And my advice to women would be basically the same as men, which is work harder than everybody else out there. If you have to pull an all-nighter, pull the all-nighter. Get good grades. Really work on internships for the summer when you're in college so that you have practical experience. And if you're not sure if you want to be in the media or maybe on the side of of administration in sports or with a team or with a agent group or whatever that is, try out those things. Try to get as many opportunities as you can, either through school programs or through internships, so that you can then have a wide range of knowledge about this wonderful world of sports, and then start to maybe pick and choose. Having said that, the economy is dreadful. Let's just be honest. I don't have to tell anyone who's listening to us.
It's really difficult to get jobs everywhere.
Right. So I even would say, take a deep breath. Tell your parents it might be a year or two. Not happy news for a lot of people, especially after you've graduated. But continue to plug away on internships, and even after you've graduated, this is a little thing, but even after you've graduated from college, so you're finished your senior year, you're done. Internships are still a viable option. I run into so many people, whether it's the communication media side or the business side of sports, who think that they cannot have a summer internship or a fall internship after they've graduated, that they've got to get a full-time job. Internships are the key to getting your foot in the door. Even after you've graduated, don't be afraid to take an internship and just try to stick around as long as possible within the confines of the place you're working. So anything you can do to get practical experience, because if you've got practical experience, even with great grades, even with an excellent academic environment, if you've got that practical experience, you will have a better shot of getting hired. And that's what it's all about, obviously.
And this ain't no dress rehearsal,
yeah.
as you said earlier.
As my late dad used to say, this ain't no dress rehearsal, meaning go for it. If you love something, hey, I got to tell you, growing up in the 60s and 70s, as I said, a girl playing sports, that was the weirdest thing in the whole neighborhood. I'm sure people were saying, what is going on at the Brennan household with, this girl playing sports? And it wasn't older brothers. It was my dad and me throwing the baseball, going to games. My other siblings came along. And I was just following my heart, following my passion. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people who say you can't do something. Put blinders on and full steam ahead. I'd say that for young men or young women. But I think women, you're right, to give a special nudge and to say, if you love sports as a girl, playing sports in high school, college, as an athlete, you will love sports even more as a career. I'm living proof of that.
That's terrific advice. And Christine Brennan from Toledo, Ohio. I'm from Detroit, so I know we have the Michigan connection. I went to the University of Michigan undergrad, so I know,
I grew up,
that school down south. No,
that Ohio State thing. No. Toledo might as well be Toledo, Michigan. We're right on the border. Everyone can get out their map, look at Toledo. It's basically in Michigan. And so we did go. We drove those 45 minutes to Ann Arbor every Saturday when Michigan was at home for years. Go Blue, even though it's been a tough few years. But hang in there.
You have no idea how much that means to me to hear that. So I appreciate this interview, and thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Take care.